Hey guys, welcome back to week 2. Let's talk about my second image in the color series, which I've entitled Balance. The color is gray, silver, which can signify balance in your life. And I wanted this image to talk all about how we often forget our balance, right? So work-life balance, maybe relationship balance, just balance with your family, your kids, your life, and all of the directions we get pulled in. We often forget that we really should have balance. No one thing should take the lead. And that means, self-care shouldn't always be in front of everything else. Especially if you have a family that you're taking care of, a job to do. There's still things we need to do, and we need to figure out how to make that all equal. And so I took this image, and it's taken at a pretty famous site in Iceland. It's an old DC-17, I believe, plane wreck, very close to a beach, but not close to much else. So it was a 2-mile walk to get there, and there's literally nothing to look at while you're walking there. It's the most boring hike I've ever done. It's just rocky terrain, just like flat rocky terrain, and you can't see the plane wreck for a while because once you get to it, it's down this little hill. So you're just walking out toward absolutely nothing. There is a shuttle that runs now to bring you from the parking lot. You can pay a small fee and buy a ticket, but I got there too early. The shuttle wasn't running yet. So as I was walking there carrying all my gear, it was roughly 2 miles, which isn't bad, but it takes a while. So I'm walking out. There were many people walking back, not a lot of people walking out. So I thought, this is going to be great. I am going to have this site hopefully to myself, or very little people, because as I mentioned before, it's really not in my wheelhouse to just get naked in front of others. So I was hoping that there really wouldn't be anyone there. So when I got there, there were these 3 young women taking a few photos, standing on the wing of the plane, doing their fun, let's get this on Instagram because it's absolutely gorgeous there. And they seemed to be wrapping up. So I set up and I was overjoyed. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm actually at this awesome site all by myself. And so I get my tripod set up, I get the camera all set up, I have the most spectacular view, and I really urge you, when you go to places, even if you just have your cell phone, look beyond what you've seen in photos, right? So what you see in photos of this plane wreck is people standing on the wing, you see close-ups, you don't really see much else. And I walked around to the opposite side and took a few steps back and took in the scene as a whole because that's how I was shooting it. And I realized that there's this amazing glacier off in the distance, and I couldn't believe that people don't even really see it. And that was very evident by the fact that as I was literally about to take off all my clothes, the first shuttle of the day showed up. A bus. It's a bus, guys. And I don't know how many people it was, but probably around 8 or 9, got off that bus, started walking down the hill, and I was like, they're all gonna see me naked. And I knew that in my mind, but I'm watching these people walk toward it, and they all start taking their Instagram photos, and thankfully I had taken a blank shot beforehand. There was nobody there and nothing in the background, and I took this beautiful blank shot once everything was set up. Thank goodness, because it definitely helped. But I had to work up the courage to take off all my clothes and run over to my spot with my little rock marking my spot and, drape a sheet over myself and look like a complete fool in front of all these people. And it was, it took a lot. It took a lot. And then I had to do it twice because it didn't quite work out the first time, but that was on me. There was just a little user error. I didn't like what they shot, and I didn't like where the focus was, and I switched it up a little bit. So I go out, and now there's people they're just all behind me. They're all over the plane. They're like, I'm shooting this, and there's people doing their Instagram selfies, and I am completely naked. And I'm sorry, I'm laughing because when I do this, I'm using the timer on my camera. So I hit the shutter button and it's on a timer. So it starts taking photos every 5 seconds. So now I get naked, hit the shutter button, and I'm wearing nothing but hiking sneakers, and I try to gracefully jog over to the spot because I don't want it to take forever, and there's quite a distance between me and the tripod. And I'm just buck naked. I put the sheet over myself, I kick off my shoes, and you know, I can see the shutter. I am far away, so I can't hear it, but I can see it, and all I need to do is see it once, and then I've got a rhythm because I do this so often. So I kind of know what the 5 seconds look like. So I start shooting, and every 5 seconds I'm shooting. I'm very aware that there are people all behind me, on the sides of me, and I'm hoping and I'm sure people took pictures of this ridiculousness, and I'm sorry if you did. And in front of me, as if this is not bad enough, in front of me, I see ATVs coming up in the distance. There's an ATV tour. These things are family friendly. This has to be like the first tour of the day, and they come rolling up. And my first thought is, oh my God, don't hit my tripod. Like, I just didn't want my camera to fall over because I'm far away from it and completely nude. And so this ATV tour pulls up, and they're just kind of looking like, what is happening here? And so they start like walking toward me, and I'm just like, I have to be done. So thankfully I got what I needed, and I shared a laugh with a wonderful couple from Las Vegas who was there, and they were taking pictures at the plane wreck. I helped take some couples photos for people while they were there too. And I did my own selfies, you know, and then I did catch the shuttle back, paid for the shuttle back, which was awesome that I didn't have to walk. But it was so comical because I really don't like taking off all my clothes in front of a bunch of strangers, you know, draping myself and stuff and doing these weird poses, because the pose that you see seems really mild, but I didn't know what pose was going to work. So I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff and trying to keep as sort of covered as I can. That was for the photo, but also for my own peace of mind. And literally, I wish I had it on video, because I audibly said while I'm shooting under the sheet, of course there's an ATV tour coming up. And I just am chuckling at myself. So this photo was taken so far out of my comfort zone. I've never ever done something like this in front of so many people. So strangers out there, if you snapped a photo of my weird bare ass in the middle of Iceland, I would love to see it, because this was really, really tough for me to get over myself and just be okay with. So I want people to know that this is not an easy thing for me to do, but I can laugh at the situation. I can laugh at myself, but I did take a couple of really deep breaths and go, okay, you have to do this. You have to do this. This is such an awesome, iconic shot. And I love how it came out. I am so excited. You can't see any of the people in it because, like I said, I took what's called a plate shot, a nice empty shot. Thankfully, before everybody got off the bus, I snapped that really quick and used that to really quickly edit out all of the people that were in front of the plane and behind the plane. They were everywhere. So I'll definitely show that in the video. But I hope you guys can get a laugh out of this, and know that if there's something you're looking to do and it's very much out of your comfort zone, I urge you to take those couple of deep breaths and take that shot and force yourself to do it within reason. Don't do anything that will get you arrested. But I really, really, laugh at yourself, enjoy the process, enjoy the moment, and most of all, take a look at the words that go along with this one. It's really a little personal journey into letting you guys know how much I burned myself out over the years, pushing myself in all aspects of my life and not allowing myself to see that I was ignoring some very key signs and symptoms of issues that have affected me mentally and physically. So while I can laugh about this, it was a very serious message to go along with this image, but I absolutely adore how it turned out. You know, I said last time that I think the red one was my favorite, but you know, the more I look at this one, the more I just remember the experience too. I love everything about how this one came out as well. And Iceland has given me such an amazing backdrop to work with. So thank you guys. Bye.